not to bed.
Ooh.
Look where I am now.
Ooh.
Where are you now?
Wendy.
I went to her.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You came with the receipts.
I went to her and I went with promos. Girl, I'm now on TV. If you lost your dad, like I did, if you lost your mom, there's no separation. The separation, that is where the statement came in. Do not believe in the seed. Why are you paying an 80,000 rand casket?
Yo.
Now there's day coca. Now I still don't understand it.
Oh, wait, man.
No, ke kopa leng understand
Yeah.
this. Like, I need help.
Thokozani, I am Paul Wabadimu, the advocate of Idlozi, and I welcome you to Thokoza Gogo Podcast, a holistic podcast where we learn, heal, and definitely grow. This is our first season, and I am so excited to be hosting all of you and myself included, because I feel we needed something like this that is going to shape our spiritual space and the face of healing, rather. So we're going to be experiencing a lot of spiritual healers on this platform, and most of all, your faves, honey. So do the right thing, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, and do leave your comments down below. So, we are starting the season with a bang. And our first guest, Mina, I don't know about you, but I'm going to let her introduce herself. Gogo, Thokoza.
Thokoza Kokunjan.
Ngiyavuka Gogo ninjani?
I am fabulous.
Thank you so much for honoring the invite.
Wena, yes. Yeah.
But you look amazing.
Really? Thank you.
You look amazing. Anyway, we'll tell you you're gonna fight. Thokoza Gogo podcast. You know what? I'm coming there. I'm bringing the flames. But thank you so much for being here. I know you as a Cherigam Cheetah.
Yeah,
but for the viewers, lalela, isitudios babayo. You know what I mean? Gogo, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers at home?
Okay, my name is Wendy Pohole.
Girl! No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Known as Wendy the Medium. Most people know me from a show called Lala Ngokolo, Komoja Love 157. The lady Obuanidi Tupo, right? So basically, that.
You had to go there. But before we get to Wendy, who is now in the public space, who is Mpho Wendy before all of this? Can you take us through your journey?
Yeah. Mpho Wendy is just a simple girl. And I mean it when I say simple, because I really discovered that I'm a very simple person, very shy person. I'm not that outgoing. Yeah, when you're in the media space or TV, people think that you are very social. And I'm not social because it's work, home,
True.
work, home.
True.
So yeah, Wendy is very calm, loving. I know that I'm a loving soul. And sometimes, when you're always laughing, and now people take advantage of that. But that's who I am. To the point that I saw her, no, I'm simple. Because when you can buy a bigger car like that, luxury car.
Girl, and you're not making noise about it.
No. I'm fascinated by small anyana thing. And I'm thinking, am I crazy? Because I question myself, girl.
No, you're too simple. You're too simple.
You see what I mean?
You're too simple.
So
yeah.
That's me. That's why I quote the example. You can afford to buy something big, exclusive, luxury. Mara, it doesn't fascinate me. I'm fascinated by small anyana car. You see, so that's Wendy. Wendy is a very simple girl. Okay, and more than above, I'm a meditator. Spirituality is about me. I meditate. I do mantras. Yeah, that's me.
You are that girl. But I just want us today for the thick part rather of the essence of this interview. You are a medium.
Yes.
I would like to know and understand, because mina mesangoma, and there's a whole spiritual journey that happens prior to me actually being initiated in all of this. But can you just, paint us a picture? what was the spiritual calling and the journey like for you?
Okay, cool. I love that. So for me, being a medium, I didn't even know that existed. Because number one, I was a Jehovah's Witnesses. I didn't believe in ancestors whatsoever. I was a full-on Christian. So this thing of ancestors to me was like, I don't believe in this. I just believe in Jesus Christ, and that's it. Amen. You know?
Yes.
So I suddenly started seeing things, when you're in the congregation, but you can see things and be like, I started telling my grandmother and be like, Kuku, I see things that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. What was that about? So it's like, no, it's demonic. That's how it was. So I just let it go and be like, okay, it's fine. And then time went by. Then my husband suddenly said to me, how come that you see everything that I do? How is it possible? Wendy, there should be something behind there. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, no, you know that I'm talking to this person, that person. So, and then I started taking notes of that. But having fear to say, hi, man, is it really there? Because there's Christianity behind me. And, okay, fine. Fast forward, I met this lady who's my mentor. It's Reference mother. So I met her, and then people would drive. They were driving big cars and stuff. I'd say to her, "Oh, Lunali, like you guys got all the money and stuff." She started saying, "No, there's nothing like luck, my baby. There's nothing like coincidence." And she bought me a book. Said, "Read this book." And she's a prophet as well.
Can I ask, what was the book about?
Okay, the book was Deepak Chopra. She bought me a book of Deepak Chopra.
Okay.
7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And I was like, okay, because I'm very curious by nature. I'm not that girl who takes nje, like, I want to know. I'm that person that, what moves the moon? Why are we,
Exactly.
I'm that type. So I said, you know what? I took the book and I was like, okay, let me read it. And I was like, no, guys, can I ask you something? Because I'm curious. You guys have a lot of money and I see your life is very simple and stuff. She says, you know what, Wendy? When you've got a spiritual gift and you're going to have your own practice. And I was like, no, practice me. Because you are in deep poverty state. You don't think that big. Like me, practice. Okay. And she gave me secrets. She says, as a spiritual person gift, you need to get to learn these mantras so that your third eye can officially open because you have this. I'm like, really? And then she gave me mantras. I remember when she was telling me this, it was 4 of us. Believe me, she was telling us the secret of being wealthy. You see, but I was the only one who took it out of all the 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm going to take this. I think God is talking to me because there was one day where I was fed up with life. I was just tired to say, no, God, I know that you didn't bring us to suffer.
Yeah.
And I asked God, I remember I was doing washing and it's like, God, what is life? What is life? Can you be the one? I'm tired of listening to the Bible. I'm tired of a preacher preaching for me. I'm tired of being told what to do. Can you come through and tell me what is life? That's when I met with her. So I saw that, the synchronicity, because I asked the question, now Ndo is buying me a book and now Ndo is telling me the secret. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it alone. I did the mantras. My gift started opening up. I didn't go for initiation. I just opened my third eye. I started doing mantras, meditating, 3 a.m. rituals. And that was how the gift started showing up. And when you start meditating, opening your third eye, the universe, well, I believe in the universe. The universe started bringing people to me. So now I started attracting people who wanted me to help them. And I'm like, no, I'm going to monetize this because this is my gift. I'm not going to shy away.
Yes.
And because there's nothing else I'm good at. I'm good at talking. I'm good at healing people. I'm good at, I see what people don't see.
So just to interject a bit, Wendy, prior to you meeting this lady and everything else, life was just showing you a lot of flames,
darling.
And have you ever been employed and been in corporate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was My first job
Yeah.
was I was working for a certain company as a cashier.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to tell you about that. So I was working in a certain store as a cashier. Yay, the treatment there. And inside you, man, you know, man, when you know that I don't belong here. I don't belong here. It was retail. And I always told my mind, even before meeting this lady, I'm the greatest even before I believe it. It was my mantra from high school to college. I was like, I'm the greatest even before I believe it. Every time I'd say that to myself. So when I found a job there, the supervisor, darling, is giving us hard time. There's people really who want to make you feel you are nothing. I'm the supervisor. When are you just a cashier there?
Yeah.
I worked there and I was like looking at her and I told her like, pain pushes till the vision pulls.
Oof.
This pain that you're causing me, it's pulling me towards my vision. I left. I just said, God, I'm going to trust you in this. I'm going to leave this. When I left, I registered a company. The company didn't work. I remember I wanted to do food. It was Tasty Organic Designs.
Okay.
It didn't work. And then I got another job in a call center. Oh, I was pregnant and then I left it. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. God, take over. That's when I started questioning what is life. Then I met with
The lady.
After, my life is now booming. I'm making progress. I'm healed. Because one thing I learned through the journey was healing my inner child. Because if my inner child, I didn't go through the levels of healing and understanding what is life, because now I know life, you create life. Life just doesn't happen
to you.
You create it.
True.
So I was like, universe, you're teaching me that there's laws of attraction, there's laws of divine oneness, there's laws of correspondence, that is why life is going this way. Actually, I was creating the opposite. I was thinking more about what I don't want.
And what you don't have.
And what I don't have instead of what I want.
True.
Now the paradigm shifted. I started now attracting. When money flows to you sleeping, as like,
Money flows to me. Money flows to me.
I mean, the affirmations.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I went to that lady. I was like, now, Lord, that lady was giving me hell. I got a deal with the TV channel and I went there to her. And I said, lady, wena, not to bed. Look where I am now.
Ooh.
Where are you now?
Wendy.
I went to her.
Yeah. You came with the receipts.
I went to her and I went with promos. Girl, I'm now on TV.
You thought you were burying me, but you were planting me.
Thank you.
Wendy, you are sharing such valuable knowledge. And I feel like, when it comes to the space of spirituality, people think one-sidedness, and spirituality is vast.
Broad.
It's very broad. And spirituality teaches you a lot about self, that you are a god yourself.
Mamel, there is nothing outside of you.
Listen.
There is nothing outside of you.
Listen, you just always need to be in check with your energy.
Thank you.
So Wendy didn't go through an initiation. So I'm curious, Wendy, your first encounter with the paranormal space. How was that?
Scary. I don't want to lie.
What happened?
Okay, so Amara Paranormal, it's so scary.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie. So the first time, I used to have a mark.
Okay.
Every time when I wake up, I would have 3 stripes of colors. It would be gray and charcoal black and black. It will draw here.
All right.
When I try and remove it, it's like a scratch. And I just woke up. There was no scratch. There was nothing.
Wendy,
I was like,
you're sleeping. You wake up. There's 3 marks.
There's 3 marks. I try and I'm taking it light. I'm rubbing it out. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, maybe I'm crazy. It went on for like 6 months. Waking up, finding that. Sometimes when I sleep, I find that. When I try and remove it, it doesn't go. But when I look, a few minutes later, it's no longer there. And it started to bother me. I told my husband, Nana, like, I'm going to show you something in the morning. And I started showing him the mark was there. When he looks, the mark disappears, but he sees that. I'm like, no, there should be some spiritual explanation. So I learned later that when the universe or when the spirit guides anoint you, they give you marks. Okay, cool. Fast forward, I started seeing there was a grandmother who came to the door, and I'm telling my husband, can you see this lady? He's like, no. And I started talking to that lady. The other,
Do you know the lady?
apparently that lady is my great grandmother from my father's side,
This is
which I
interesting.
didn't know.
Okay, so this lady is your great grandmother from your father's side. So has there ever been a Wendy in your family, or when all of this started, were you the first?
Okay. I can say yes and no.
Okay.
Because remember, in my father's side, they believe in ancestors,
Okay.
but no one wanted to take the bag.
Okay, cool.
So this gift was supposed to be my dad's.
All right.
I remember even in his funeral, they was like, no, these bones and shoes he was supposed to take it. He didn't take it. So then apparently it went to me. So no one from my lineage practiced
Okay.
this. Everyone ran away from it.
Okay.
So I was the only one who responded to it and be like, no, let's do it. I love it because I love helping people. And it comes natural because when people talk to me, they're like, when you've got this kamanyana thing that you have, I don't know. But yeah, so there was no one who was practicing it, but they were supposed to practice, but they ran away from it.
So Gogo Lomageza, Gogo, what did she say? Did she bring forth something? Did she show you something?
Yes.
What was the engagement in that?
Okay, so the grandmother said to me, the first thing that, because I initially thought I need to be a sangoma. You know, like in Kasi, when you have a spiritual gift, back then we used to run to being sangoma, right? That's what we only knew. But that gogo came to me, it's like, no, mommy, I don't want you to have a mark. We've marked you already. So you're not going to wear anything to show that you are a healer. And then you are not going to use any tool. We are just going to be entering your body. So she said, right then there, I'm entering your body now. So I'll be functioning through you.
Ooh.
So it didn't make sense, Mpo, honestly, because I don't have anyone to ask. I'm alone. And people who are surrounding me are Christians. If I can start saying to you, there was a grandmother who told me this, like, what were you going to say? In a Christian form, you're crazy. It's demonic. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep quiet. I'll allow the spirits to guide me. And she told me the languages that they're going to use to communicate to me. And the signs that they're going to use. Because the universe and the spirit uses signs a lot.
It's
beautiful.
Spiritual science.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And she explained everything. That's, she said to me, remember, we will operate from your thoughts.
Ooh.
So when you think negative, the negative thing that you're thinking is going to manifest immediately.
When do you deserve a bells, man?
So you're no longer going to think anything negative, mama. Because we are working together with the realm. What is the realm? It's like, no, when you'll find out. Okay, what is the realm? I didn't understand that. I was like, okay, Kuku, let's go. I'm ready for the ride. I'm going to be the black sheep of the family because everybody is Christian and I'll be alone in this journey. But I trust the higher power. She said to me, believe in the unseen. I was reading the Bible daily, but I didn't understand the verse intensely. Okay. I was taking it, general knowledge, going to church. Mara, after that lady visited, it was no longer a general knowledge of Bible. It was more intense. When she said, you must believe in the unseen. What does believing in the unseen mean? Like, that's faith. Okay. let's go deeper. So she constantly started visiting. And when she didn't visit, I would feel sad because now my friend is no longer there. I will just go out and wait for her to come. And she unpacked faith for me. And for that day was an awakening for me. I was like, Nana, don't believe in what you see, taste, and touch. Don't use your five senses. You're going to use the unseen, the higher faculties. How? Okay. You're going to use your will, the intellect. Yeah? You're going to use your higher power. Meaning that what you see now happening in your life is not real. You need to now start creating from the higher power. So I love teaching about this, but sometimes I feel like it's going to be foreign to people.
It's very easy for the message to get filtered. I think it's the how people receive the message, because right now you're speaking a lot of spiritual sense and a lot of important things. These are gems, Wendy, and who catches it will catch it. And it's not your duty to make someone catch it. And because it was a gem delivered to you, you know what I mean? But with all that you were saying, I want us to come back to the space of being a medium.
Yeah.
I believe healing is a big body, and we all have something to contribute to the body of healing.
Exactly.
So as Wendy, who is a medium, you connect to people. Okay, you connect to amadlozi.
Yes,
right?
basically.
But for more context, for someone who wants a more elaborative explanation, you connect to people who have passed. So your duty in connecting with those that have passed, what role are you playing? What are you facilitating? What are you being the medium for?
Great. Okay. When it comes to I never knew what to call it, to be precise.
Okay.
I never knew how to label it. And still, I'm just saying medium.
Okay.
For just.
Okay.
Because I still feel like medium is not describing what I do.
True.
So I'll find the word one day. But
yeah.
So now in my line of space, I deal with, the spirit brings me clients of all sorts.
Okay.
They don't choose specific, like there's people who deal with womb, with babies, so the universe, the spirit brings everybody. So I tackle most issues, like anything, because they will just come and say, okay, she's got the problem of 1, 2, 3, and then when you do the reading, and you connect. So I haven't had a specialist like a heart surgeon, that's why I say I don't know how to describe myself as yet. The only time where I started separating myself was when they brought a vision of Lalangotolo. That was when, and before that, I was fascinated by dead bodies. Okay. Now I love dead bodies.
You and me both.
Yo. Oh yes. I don't know. I'm fascinated. I don't know.
I know Wendy.
Exactly. Maramina, I'm drawn.
Yeah.
Even anything that has to do with a morgue, that's me. Yeah. So I used to stand go bar and watch, go forensic and watch how the bodies would go in and out. I was like, oh God, if I can go in there and see what happens. So this is the recent revelation was to separate me, was to deal direct with the body. Okay. Because that is my lover. Now I'm going now into the forensic part of things because I wanted to see when they open. So I asked, can I be part of this? Can I see I want to know the inside, because you will die without knowing what's inside of you. So I don't want to die without knowing what the hell is inside of me. So, yeah. So now I recently branched to now dealing with the deceased. Now people who mostly come to me are people who have funerals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I feel like the separation is now starting to show.
Umuntu makaqeda ukushona.
Yeah.
Wendy is there to mediate the reasons around the passing and the messages
Yeah.
that person wants to relay.
Exactly.
So I do a lot of research around spiritual gifts
Yeah.
and the types of spiritual gifts. And there would be something like, siyabhilivela ukuthi umuntu kune-space se-3 months, kune-space se-6 months, Wendy. What is your view on that? Ukuthi kwenzakalani? Umuntu today iyobonana emathuneni, game over. Wena, Wendy, what is your spectrum around that? Are you connecting those to a person then and there? Should we ignore the 3 months, the 6 months thing? Like, I just need
I love that question. Okay, recently we had a meeting in our channel, ne?
Yeah.
So one of our mediums asked that question, saying, but according to Ilozi, you can't speak to that person now.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they recently passed. I don't know. And I'm like, okay, it was difficult for me to answer that because to me, that person didn't die. They don't die.
Energy.
Thank you. Yes. So why not?
Why not?
Why not?
You have to wait 6 weeks.
Hell no.
3 months.
Now.
As
fresh as it
is.
is.
No, I believe or moya how fits no. That's when they're most active.
Thank you. That is why I say when I die, no one must use a life support on me. I want to transcend nicely and jump to that ship nicely.
Yeah. So, you know what, Wendy?
Yeah.
You are educating me, and I'm so happy we are having this conversation.
I love it.
Hoya mabiking.
Yeah.
As a black person, or generally,
yeah.
Hareyamo, we believe we are connecting, and we are communicating, and whatever the case might be. As Wendy the Medium,
yes,
the practice or the tradition of going to the graveyard, how do you see that?
Okay, for me it doesn't matter, but to the deceased it does matter. Other deceased literally wants their bones taken care of. Other deceased care that my grave should look good because guys in Pilen, you know. But remember, there's no separation. If you lost your dad, like I did, if you lost your mom, there's no separation. The separation, that is where the statement came in. Do not believe in the seen. So I don't live in this world. I live ahead of time. Like, it sounds crazy. Mara, when you take your time and learn the science behind this, you will understand that there's no separation.
And time is an illusion in the
Thank
spirit
you.
world. There's no such thing as 9
Thank
o'clock
you.
or 3 years.
Thank you.
Time is an illusion.
So there's no such thing as we will separate it because we say it's illozi, because the body is no longer there. But it can never be separated. I cannot separate you. If we can get that, we will understand, Hore. No, the body, yeah, sharp. Because these people, they make signs, especially when you're away. They communicate. I always tell people, Gary, I don't want you to depend on Wendy to communicate to your mom, or how about let me teach you how to communicate to them. So that next time when you see a feather, you're going through a situation, that feather would speak to you.
Oh, Wendy, I'm taking out my tithe.
You see, when you see a number, because you know what the spirit does. If there's a situation, because I like asking them questions. It's like, okay, where to from here? I don't like staying around, please. You'll get 888. The number 88 will flash everywhere. I have a big project that I'm doing that scares the hell out of me. But, you know, I said, Spirit, show me a sign that you guys approve of this. When I was going to shoot, I saw it says, nothing can stand in your way, a billboard. And I was like, okay, let's go for it. So there's no separation, guys. Like, to a point that our life is so, we focus too much on the physical to a point that we separate even smaller nyana things. Because the law of divine oneness says we are one. For the fact that I drive a Benz, you drive a Polo, and you think we're separated, we're not. We are one. That is why what happens to you affects me. Because the universe stated it that we are one. So there is no discord. Firstly, I would normally ask, why is it that you would look like your great-grandmother? I had a child. I said to the mother, I want to show you something that we are not separated. I believe we get rebirthed. You come back again. There was this child who came to my office. I said to the mother, please bring me the picture of your grandmother. I want to show you something. The grandmother's late. The 4-year-old child, when she looked at the picture, she said, this is me.
Oof.
And I was telling you. Yeah. So let's not, because this separation is the one that keeps us poor. Because you feel that the million is separated from you. And you don't understand, it's just paper, darling. It was a tree, transformed its energy to something, and now the energy is transformed. Like when you're boiling water, you transform the energy of the water. When you're icing it, it's the same water, but now
in different forms.
Thank you.
Wendy, this is this is very beautiful. So in just a summarization.
Yeah.
The people that are like, yeah, the graveyards. For one, I live at the graveyard. That's my second home. And I sometimes even feel connected to sometimes people that are next to my loved ones because I look at the state of the grave. You can tell a lot by the state of the grave, how that person, you know? And there are people who take such things lightly. So, ngiyashonelwa namhlanje Wendy. Ngiyenza umncwabo. Kuyaphekwa kuze kuba nedizeze. Then we do a tombstone unveiling and kuyanyiwa. Does the person who is in the afterlife, who is now energy, spirit, acknowledge and appreciate
Amen.
all of those things?
They see everything. Did you know that hearing in a deceased takes a long time to go? Hearing can take up to 3 months for the person to finally say, I lost my hearing. Okay. I did a lot of research around dead bodies, the process of death. What happens? Why do the blood go at the back? Why some bodies don't catch ice? Why the eyes will open, the mouth. Because it's not that you're dead. You are dead because the doctors declared you dead. But the body, the cells are still active.
Operating. You don't die.
Never. You die after 3 months, darling. Yeah. So everything that happens in the funeral, when you talk to the person, they hear you clearly.
You know, there's something my mom taught me, that when someone passes, no. Mkeze, maqeda ukumkeza. Izindlebeni yakho ukhulume naye.
Ukuzwa kahle. You'll be surprised with Lala. You get families are scared of death. Are scared to birth their person. I'm a pro now.
Okay.
To birth the body.
Girl.
I'll show you the tricks. I know that you shouldn't remove the cloth because the flies will damage. And once the fly gets in, it's
over. Yeah.
So there was one time when we in the mortuary, the child was very stiff. They didn't want to open their arms and stuff. And the family is like, this child, we won't dress him because the arms. I'm like, no, listen. Tell this child, bula matsoh, open your arms. Like, because they did, and they told the child, open your, because even when we found the child in the morgue, the legs were screwed because the child had CP. So you see when you have cerebral palsy, your muscle. And I said to him, Deboho, you need to heal now from your CP. You no longer have the CP.
Indeed.
You need to stretch for the first time in your life. Because this trouser, we need to put it in.
Don't make me cry.
I said, Tebogo, the CP is gone now. You can be free now.
What?
You're no longer sick, Nana. I know it's in your head that your body's like this.
Oh my goodness, Wendy.
Tebogo, a few minutes later, everything was like, the parents didn't believe it. I didn't believe it.
Yes.
Self. You see, we do things, then later we like, maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, what just happened?
What just happened? Tebogo opened, we were able to.
Whoa.
The CP was gone. He was a normal child. Because even the coffin, they said we needed to get a bigger coffin because we can't put him straight. He needs to bend, like sleep on the side. I was like, no child will be buried like that because this child is healed now. He's no longer sick.
Oh, Wendy.
Tebogo went in a nice kid's coffin. Beautiful. So, let's not separate.
Let's not separate. That is a powerful
Because the
statement.
grief, that's where grief comes in. Grief comes from not understanding the processes.
And thank you for opening up this conversation. Because grief deals with a lot of not accepting, you know. They want to cross over because we don't necessarily, as someone who's misinformed, you don't know what they want to, you know, transcend into or in the afterlife. Do they want to come back? Do they want to be a spiritual guide? And when you're holding on to that moment, and it brings up a lot.
When I'm the holding on the way I love how you emphasize it. Look at how funerals are now. I was in Four Ways graveyard. When I believe you when you say we hold on too much. In the cemeteries, they build a chair even, a shelter.
Oh, wait.
I'm like, why are you holding on?
Grief.
Why are you paying an 80,000 rand casket?
Yo.
Now there's day coca. Now I still don't understand it.
Oh, wait.
No, I understand this. Like, I need help.
Okay, Wendy.
The mind behind that, I need to know.
The funeral, I believe it's more about grief and shock and a way we can compensate for things that we couldn't do.
We couldn't do.
Yes.
Okay.
Why I'm saying that, kunomuntu that will pass on endlini kungana next Wendy. But the funeral, ihlangane kahle nje. You understand? Sintos vele nje at the last hour. You understand? Sizokhipha le sifake lapha kukule ya bra. You understand?
Yeah.
Because kunabantu that don't necessarily know how to get the message umuntu ezohamba. So there's a level of guilt that comes with the signs were there. But I overlooked it. You know what I mean? The signs were there. So now it's in keeping yabo. Masitholakale lethuna elibigi itombstone gaga but in all essence it's more of me than the person olelela.
Okay. Now I understand.
Yeah.
Because really I didn't understand it for the longest, and why I didn't understand. I went to there's a client of mine who has a mortuary and has a contract with the government.
Okay.
Buries popes, the unknown bodies.
Oh, tikobao.
It's like, sis, when they come through, you said you want to see. Like, yeah, girl, 10 people in one grave. And it doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
The babies are in buckets and are buried in the grave. And I was watching. I'm like, oh, okay. So I think it was, and it felt that, it's wrong because the family don't know that the body's here. That's the big project I'm dealing with. I have to, government, I'll find the family. This person will not be buried, Ganje.
Wendy, bless your heart. Bless your work.
You see what I mean?
Bless your work.
Because, you see, it doesn't matter if people are buried. I can see 60 bodies in a car, and they're all put in the graveyards, 10. Okay. Babies 20. And I was like, okay, so really, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't
Because
really
at
matter.
the end of the day, this is the house that housed the spirit.
It's
And
not you.
it's not me. And I can right now die. Kube nomuntu opheke ekhaya.
And what if it's you?
Energy. What if it's me? But Wendy, I want to ask a question. It's a broad question.
Yeah.
Can I just say
Yeah,
program ya how?
yeah.
Hey, wena Aubrey uyitwanele, Aubrey uyitwanele. Oh, dile libona. Aubrey wayitwanele.
They do.
But
Hey, yo.
Emabeli, Wendy. Ke nyaka go tlhaloganya hore now what are we saying hore
Yeah,
in
I
the
love
case
that.
of
I love.
how a person died?
Oh, yeah, was
If
not killed.
kunesandla, because abantu bayaganga,
Yeah.
abantu bayabulawa, abantu bayalahleka, abantu bayenzani. So Aubrey ashi utswile moya nna ragadi Mary. Uyitwanele Aubrey. Aubrey first he needs to understand his spirit. Does he get into war mode immediately? Ayitwanele, and how do we see hore Aubrey wa itwanela?
Great. So, we don't have to do much. I always tell my clients, "Hore, we don't have to do much work because this is by law. What you do to the other comes back to you.
Wendy. True.
It's by law.
Yeah.
As above, so below. As below, so above.
Above.
The law of correspondence.
Come on.
So I don't, like, I allow them to say that because the pain is unbearable.
Nice.
I allow them. But Oksala, we need to wait through the process. Ukuthi umuntu amithe ama-greeting spirits wakhe.
Exactly.
Ahambe the process. Aboniswe ukuthi okay, we are this side wenzani. If you've had a near death experience like I did in COVID, that is why I'm so knowledgeable in terms of death. Because I did die and come back because of the near death, the corona thing. So I just allow them to say that it's okay.
It's okay.
But I know that the spirit will go through his purpose and the processes. So you find people who say, Sis Wendy, I want them. They must come now. I'm like, no, mama. Relax. Rest. Don't do anything to the body. It's fine. That's the body. The spirit and the universe never forgets its own. I had my uncle who died and stayed there for 8 months. No one
Identified him.
And there was this thing bothering me. And I was telling my family, man, there's a funeral mojara thing, but and then I was like, okay, because my family is Christian, so whatever I was saying, it's crazy. Kanti, my uncle died 8 months ago. He's in the house, decomposing.
It happened.
Yeah. It happened. So I was like, from that experience, how I was like, God never forgets his own. Because even the stages of decomposing was the stages that God designed for the decomposition. Yeah. You see, so for us to say fight, let's express. It's a way of, I allow it. I will also help you say, Nana, fight.
Wendy, I've had this experience a lot of times. And I think for me, that's why I think there's a huge gap for me when it comes to religion and spirituality. My family, I've experienced it a lot with my family. Some of them never kereka, some of them must believe it. But you find that when it's their last days, the signs are there, then umuntu maseka zoshona Wendy uzokutshela ukuthi ngibona umamami ngibona uanti ngibona ubani, and then abanye you'd find at khona le ndoda ela lo muntu la, the angel of death. Yes most people I can count, even my mom, they mama ngikhuluma ngale ndoda, I know that there's
excuse my angel. Excuse.
So from this conversation, I want you to educate people at home a bit.
Yeah.
That people in the living world have a
Yeah.
power to delay their death.
You decide your death.
Yes. And delay.
And delay.
I always believe there's a first death and a second death.
Amen.
The first death, uzobangati, you're about to die, and then you make it out. Ube right, but
Bega right. Yes.
Solo ibega right. I just want you to share with our viewers, Wendy, that these are things you need to look out for.
Amen.
Umuntu makaseka zohamba. And how do we better prepare? Because we never educated around that.
Good question. I love that. In my show, most of the time, I ask the family, guys, what was the sign? Because when a person dies, they don't just die. You know, when I tell you about these laws that are governing us of the universe, it's real. Your tongue,
True.
and the universe is a good listener.
Very. It likes indaba. Yeah.
They plan their funeral.
Basaphila.
Ngwanaka, ke batla siya ntlo ena gore mohlang ke shwa.
Listen.
God is listening, Nana. I'm going to work hard for my kids so that when I die, they don't suffer death.
You're inviting.
Inviting. So the universe gave us freedom to decide. Good life, bad life. Nna ke modidi o ikgantshang, you've decided.
Umudidi.
Omodidi.
Tla ba o tlhokahala o le modidi.
Amen.
Oh, impilo le inhlupheko.
O decidile na.
Decidile.
Then you get people when I say, nah, I'm rich. And I'm going to be proud about that. I'm always supplied for. Why ba ikgantsha ka tlhophe na why ke sa tshwanela ikgantsha ka tšhelete modimo mphang yona daily? Right. So the process of death, the universe gives us 2 years. Our paradigm, when we grow up, we talk about death. So there's no way we wouldn't die. And God didn't create death for the purpose of death. God created us to stay here, to be here. I mean, the Fate kids is an example. There are people who are 145 years. God created life. But because God also created the power of the mind to be the one that creates our life, our tongue to be the one that dictates the future, and once we always utter the death. And the death has no choice but to show up because the universe doesn't know between right and wrong. It only takes your vibration and your feeling tone. Thank you. So, firstly, the universe will give you 2 years. I love when you say there's first death and second death. 2 years max. So the first 2 years, you'll get a visit from the spirit world. That's when people say, because now your spirit guides, I love that, they come and have a conversation with you first. And it's also hey. The spirit comes first. Secondly, you will get the signs. They start showing you, suddenly you trip. Like amanzi explode the burst pipe. Because we're ignorant, we're not used to invisible communication. Those type of things you don't see. There's a lot of signs. So now within the 2 years, when the first visit comes, you decide there, I'm not ready to go. Because there's a lot of death that are sudden that umuntu beka right zolo and then tomorrow sega hambile. Why? Because you made an agreement with the spirit spiritually. And then they come and collect you spiritually. That is why right. And then when you have lap, you see that near-death experience has taught me a lot. I will quickly briefly talk about why more clue for you decide. I was in ICU for COVID. I had COVID. And I'm unconscious now. The oxygen, they're saying, you know what? This is the highest oxygen we have. If you're not going to take this, there's nothing we can do. So I was like, am I accepting of death or not? So now the spirits are showing up. You see a lot of people, man. You see, now my face is starting to turn. I'm no longer looking at any human. And now I understood why umuntu makazoshona doesn't want to look at people. Ubheka esayidini. Now I see the spirits are here. I'm like seeing my imgodi. I'm seeing, okay, this is my body going here. Now I've shifted from my body. I can see my body's lying here. Now I'm above the body. I could see it. I could see the oxygen. I could see everything. But I'm not conscious of what's happening. I'm like, I'm leaving this body. Nyahamba and those spirits. So there's a silver line there.
Yeah.
Mawufika lapho, when you jump it, you automatically go to the other side. There was a spirit that called my name. That's why libizo, when a person dies, is important to call that person by name. Wendy, that person who called me, till today, I don't know who it was. I quickly went back to my body. And when I looked around, no one was here. They immediately removed the oxygen. That, no, you are fine, ma'am. Your sets are fine now. But a few minutes ago, they were busy using those twat things because they're saying you're not responding.
Yeah.
That is why I don't believe a person dies immediately.
Sure.
And I love the culture of Lesotho where they put the dead bodies for months to see for real if that person died.
Gone.
Because a lot of our people here, this thing of rushing to bury the person in 1 week, a lot of people are killed in mortuaries, I will tell you for free. Because people do come back.
Wendy, you have healed me today in so much conversation. And my mom really loved you, hey?
I know.
And I connected with you after my mom's passing because she loved you. And all these things you're saying to me, they hit home. My mom had a near-death experience. She got into coma around COVID. And she was like, wabona afika endaweni abantu bagqoka amagawuni amhlophe bayakhala. Athi but kwaba nomuntu othi la kuyi akakabi isikhathi sakho. And when we had our first conversation, you elaborated on that. Wendy, you have opened up another conversation. I think we don't speak about death enough as Black people, and we are not open enough to it. I honestly want us to have more of this, conversation. This shouldn't be our last interview. But in just a few, because we're almost out of time, there are sangomas that refer to themselves as mediums. Well, hold up. My understanding between a sangoma and a medium, I believe we all carry different gifts. And in the translation of our spiritual work.
Okay.
But now you find that a sangoma is somebody who has a spiritual gift, but it's rooted in a traditional manner or cultural, background. And there's a calculation of the uzbanban or she's kwama uzbanbani. And then we have somebody who's a medium like you. Ekaya, this is new, and there is nothing that we can point to. No. So your gift is not traditionally boxed, if I may put it like that. Yeah. But we find that there are sangomas who say they are mediums. I feel like some of those people are either misdiagnosed or they got lost in the translation of the gift. Because
you're right.
We spoke about a lot of things, you and I. Yeah. And you hurt me. Watimpo, you're not a sangoma, you're a medium. But I was like to you, Wendy, the fact of the matter that how I got my gift when it was passed down from generation was this way. Yeah. But kuhluka esigodlweni ukuthi ngisebenza kanjani.
Okay.
So the translation is different, but we all are the same. We are one.
That's my point.
So this inferiority complex of who is greater or who has a lesser gift. No such. At the end of the day, for us to heal, we're getting messages from the spirit.
Same source.
Same sauce.
Same sauce.
Same sauce. Kuhluka nje ukuthi mina ngiyokuthatha ngihlanganisele ishukela ne-anyanisi. When you say do this because you light candles, ushisa impepho, you talk to your people.
Sauce.
We do the same. It's
sauce.
like we are different phones. Ki Nokia, ki Alcatel, but at the end of the day, the calls we are receiving.
Whatever I recently discovered, ne? As quiet as we are, as healers as we are, there's competition amongst healers.
And it's toxic.
And I was like, really?
Toxic.
I was surprised recently to find there's so much. Am I competing with you? Like,
yeah.
So, and I can so say one.
Bona, at the end of the day, that's why I said when we
Connect
started,
connect
you connect closely.
That's why I can't say more than starter. Na medium, I'm just putting it. Mara, I cannot label it.
Wendy, we are light workers. You're spiritual
Light
healers.
workers. Simple.
At the end of the day.
Yeah,
Hore re fapana ka hore wena o apere speaker se se John or wena speaker sa hao se na le leopard. But at the end of the day, we are all contributing to this body.
I said to you, the first laws, the 12 universal, I wish people can actually go and research about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of people wanting answers from us. As a medium, I love people coming to consult. Mara, I'm tired of people coming to consult. They consult because of ignorance. And they get misled. If they go and read the 12 universal laws, the first law says the divine oneness. Reka ihluka ntampo as ucho. Red, white.
Mara.
Oksalayo.
Hore nna ke tsentse sephiga. Wena o etsa kerese e gold. Okusalayo.
One source.
Whoever you are healing.
Apparently, khona le ntho ba reng ke mediumship. I recently understood. Oh, khona le mediumship. Khona le dlozi. Like. Now this is getting confused.
It's getting confusing because at the end of the day, you don't get a gift lying in the air. It is passed down from generation.
Who's telling you all these things?
It is passed down from generation to generation. But how we receive the gift, the packaging differs. You know? So I like that we're having this conversation, Wendy. But in closing, to someone that is watching this podcast today, what words of wisdom and encouragement can you give them in the space of I lost my boyfriend, ngishonelwe namhlanje, endlini ini, Wendy, umuntu wasekhaya ulahlekile. What can you say to that viewer that is watching you and seeing hope? Because I always believe that our clients are connected to us spiritually.
Yes.
Siza kanje emhlabeni to fulfill a purpose because there are people waiting for us.
That's why you can't market clients, eh?
Speak to your people. My sister.
All right. So now I will take people back to their creator. I always say you can never worship amadlozi. Never do that. The only person we need to worship is God. We have to acknowledge there's a difference there. That is why people like to separate seeing sangomas, mediums as demonic because of lack of knowledge. I personally don't worship my ancestors. Never. I don't believe they're above God. I mamela, pray, meditate, phahla.
Sister.
3 things. Our ancestors, we are there to acknowledge them. And for them to tell us messages. Guide us.
Do this life thing.
And why I will always love them, because they were praying for us. I'm sitting here because of their prayers.
Amen.
You get me? I cannot ignore them. They're not demonic. Mara osalayo, I can't praise them. I have to pray to God, the universe. So, if you lost your loved ones, we were never, nothing stays the same. The law of vibration says everything vibrates. Nothing stays the same. So if you lost your loved one, do not separate yourself from that person. Let's learn to communicate their language or from the different side. We laugh at people who praise up with tongues, ne? gore how o etsang, o buang. But it's a another level of spiritual communication. So let's learn gore sedimo sa gago se communicate ka language efeng. I'm not talking about Zulu.
Wendy,
Thank you.
where do we find you besides on Moja Love? And where do we find you on the social platforms?
Okay, I'm on TikTok. Recently signed up. I am Wendy the Medium. All my handles is I am Wendy the Medium.
Do you have a specific number that you use?
Yeah, my numbers, you'll find it on my YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah, because I wrote them there. So
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe and like and follow.
Okay.
It was an honor, Mpho.
Wendy?
Oh, your conversation. It needs more
Actually,
time.
I'll have you again. We need to talk about a lot of things. But thank you so much for honoring the invite. Viewers at home, this was our first episode of Thokoza Gogo podcast with Wendy the Medium. If you definitely like this interview, please like this video and leave your comments down below. We're going to be having many of these type of conversation, bringing healing holistically to you. I'm hosting an event with Wendy the Medium, but we are moving it. As you heard that Wendy is busy with a big spiritual project, so she needs some time off. So we will share the date. So if you already purchased tickets, hold on to your seats. We got something exciting coming from you. So we're going to be posting new dates and new updates in terms of the event. But from me to you, the advocate of Idlozi, I am signing out, and this is not goodbye. It is nothing but love and light. Remember, we learn because we're living, and spirituality is freedom. I am Paul Badimu, the advocate of Idlozi. From me to you, Togos.